So why do bad things happen to good people?
Keep thinking right, doing right, hearing right. All our senses are directed for positivity. Out of 7 billion people, 750 million people every day sleeps in hunger. 250 million people every day is living in below $2 in poverty. Some of the people are fortunate to have everything: food, shelter, comfortable living style. So we have to understand food is the primary sacrifice you have to do to understand the faith, the God, whichever be the faith you come from, whichever be the religion you come from. Spirituality is integral part of you. The more you look internal, you're going to radiate positivity, productivity, and you're going to engage in this beautiful planet.
Hello and welcome back to Green Generation. Today we're talking about something that's super interesting. We're going to touch base a little bit on spirituality and sustainability. And we're also going to talk a little bit about Jainism, Buddhism, Swami Vivekananda and Ramana Maharshi. And I'm going to shoot questions as a knowledge seeker to understand better. I'm Dr.Seetharaman, and with me I have Dr. Seetharaman. They say that indifference hurts more than hate.
Yeah.
And I think that's truly a very good life lesson to learn. And I think holding on to I think you've always told me, and with time I'm not saying I've seen bad things happen to people, but I've always seen how there's a way of how things come around when, if you're deeply, truly hurt by somebody's actions or something, just trust in, I don't know, karma or God's plan, or for every action to have an opposite reaction. And I feel like it took me some time to understand that whenever you said that to me growing up. But as I've seen the consequences of people's actions, or if I've seen things take its own place, I've realized I'm so much more at peace than focusing on why did somebody do it to me. Of course, those are normal questions you have as a human being when you're hurt.
Yeah, as long as the world exists, good and evil exists.
Correct.
See, the market goes sideways, there's nobody makes money. Market goes up, in commercial terms I'm talking about. People who wants to dispose, they dispose and they realize it. Market goes down, people who wants to buy, they buy. Right? Both are complementing. Somebody wants to sell, if somebody has to buy, someone has to sell. Right? So the market deflection is up and down, is always normal. Life is also the same, it's a pendulum. The joy and the fear is normal. Anger and forgiveness are complementing. You have to necessarily make sure which one you're going to choose.
Absolutely.
You have to understand there are evil forces around you. Positive and negative makes the combination of neutrality, right? So if you want to be in balance, you have to keep reducing, marginalizing the negatives and think positive. That's spirituality again.
I mean, I think that also sort of comes to this question, and I feel like it's a forever conversation. So maybe we'll touch very little base, but I think it draws back to that question of, because you said wherever there is good, there is also evil. There's both that exist. About the question that all of us ask: why do bad things happen to good people? You know, I don't know if you have an answer for it, because I feel like there is no specific answer. Like I said, there's God's plan, there's karma, there's a reason why things are happening. But would you like to touch base a little bit on your opinion on this statement, or what your perception is of why do good things happen to bad people?
We convert the negatives into positives. Our job is to make sure I keep thinking right, doing right, hearing right. All our senses are directed for positivity. Now, does it mean that you will not be inflicted with negatives? The answer is no, you will. Even I will go one step further. Karma is true, and you will have destiny. You can always fine tune it. There are solutions to it. That's what we should chase. Why does it happen? Accident happens. We always think accident happens to others. Accident can happen to us. So when accident happens, 90% is how you take it. Only 10% of what it has happened. By your wisdom, by your augmented intelligence, or I call it as spirituality, you can always make sure the impact is minimal if it is negative. You cannot aspire for always an upward swing. The world will cease to exist. I'm telling you, if there is no inequality, you will not aim at equality.
Fair.
So destiny is also true. I said a few minutes before, destiny is not a matter of chance, it's a choice. You can choose how to convert the negatives into positives. That's all human beings can do. If karma is not there, infatuation is not there, world doesn't exist.
No, I mean, I agree. I think you need to have seen day to appreciate night and vice versa, right? You need to see both sides to also learn from. You need to see evil to learn not to be like that, I guess. So they're all life lessons, I'm sure. Okay, so I'm moving on to the next question. Like I said, this feels like an ongoing debate, so we need to move on. But this one's super interesting, and I would love to hear your thoughts on how you connect it to spirituality or sustainability, which says, eating constitutes the greatest obstacle to self-control. It gives rise to indolence.
Simply because every religion, what is religion? Religion means sacrifice. There are 7 sins. Wealth without work, knowledge without character, politics without principles, religion without sacrifice, commerce without morality, science without humanity. These are sins. Religion means sacrifice. The easiest way, Mahavir says, Jainism says, or every religion, Hinduism or Buddhism, Jainism, even Islam as a faith, Jewish, even Christianity, all advocates for fasting.
Yeah.
Why? You need to understand how the poor people are going through their walk of life. When your stomach is not full, you know the consequence of it. Your energy levels will fade. There are billions of people in today's context. Out of 7 billion people, 750 million people every day sleeps in hunger. 250 million people every day is living in below $2 in poverty. Some of the people are fortunate to have everything: food, shelter, comfortable living style. So we have to understand food is the primary sacrifice you have to do to understand the faith, the God, whichever be the faith you come from, whichever be the religion you come from. That's what Jainism is all about. Sacrifice. Buddha says the same. These are not religion per se for me. They are philosophies. There is no system. You create system out of their own teachings. Their way of life is sacrifice, sacrifice. That's why we do in Ekadasi days. Ramadan, people don't eat.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
This is classic understanding of the poverty, so that you become much more wiser. If anything what you have is an excess, give it back to society. You can only be a trustee for excess of wealth. It is not your money. This is planet Earth. You are on lease. You use the sun. You use the soil. I can say this is my house. I should know I cannot carry this house when I pass out from this planet. That's the reality. So human or any living souls need food to sustain. Sacrificing this is a must.
Very interesting. I feel like the more I ask, the more you're able to find the connections and the things that I feel like I didn't, which is the whole point of this conversation. So we're able to draw.
Sustainability talks about food security. Sustainability talks about zero hunger. Sustainability talks about elimination of extreme poverty.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, so now we're moving on to Ramana Maharshi, and I'm going to pick up a few quotes. Okay, this one says, "Your own self-realization is the greatest service you can render to the world." How do you think that helps in shaping up your actions towards sustainability?
What is self-realization? What is the purpose of life? Purpose of life is to realize who you are. Tatvam. We always want to know, who am I? That's the question everyone is asking. I don't know who I am. Vivekananda asked the same question to Ramakrishna. Ramana Maharshi asked the same question. Mahavir asked the same question. Who are you? Where I come from? How I came? What is this I'm seeing? Is it a myth or real? So what's the reason why I'm here? The reason is self-realization. The journey is towards the truth of recognizing your own self. The minute you recognize, you become perfect, you are purified, you cease to exist in physical form. The soul will take the next shift.
Do you say that almost self-realization obviously does give you a sense of purpose of why you exist, right?
That's what Ramana says, that's what every faith says.
Right, but how does it, what if your sense of purpose isn't necessarily directed towards, I know it should be, or everyone should have sustainable actions towards which we contribute, but what if that's not your direct purpose? Then how does self-realization act in combination with sustainability then in that case?
Because if you understand, then you will always contribute for sustainability. If you understand that anything excess is to be given, you will start giving back to society. You will also treat everyone equal, gender equality. We call it as Ardhanadishwara, right? Parvati and Parameshwara are together, half. Right? So we recognize gender equality is important. We also want to recognize reducing the income inequality between haves, rich people and poor people. The more you fix the gap, the society will be happy. The more you divide, more you widen, you will have more problems. So if we recognize everyone should get equal opportunity, basics should be given, there will be more peace, more happiness. Isn't it? That's the purpose.
I mean, now it makes more sense now that you explain it that way.
Yeah.
Okay, so this one's slightly long, but it says, "Bliss is not added to your nature, it is merely revealed as your true and natural state, eternal and imperishable. The only way to be rid of your grief is to know and be the self."
Exactly. Be yourself. In camera, the actors are disguising in some other form. Okay? They shift their real life into characters. If you realize you can be yourself, you don't need to get carried away by copying some other character. You find your true nature. You reflect internally, potentially integrating your bliss. That's the power. That's a genuine power. That's an energy. And that's what the axiom is all about. Life is all about recognizing this axiom and drive towards the truth. That's a beautiful journey. The minute you are complete, you cease to exist. This is what exactly everyone trying to postpone the inevitable. But it will happen. The question is when. The more you purify, Vivekananda lost his form. He lost his form
early.
5 years before he was telling his brother that he is going to lose out at the age of 39. Ramakrishna did it at 46. Right? So the ability to purify is within you. You want to keep the physical form, by all means you can. By practicing discipline, keeping this aspiration, keeping the desire, keeping the infatuation. Right? So keep it going. If you like this material world. If you like to be be blissful only, you want to be in the cosmic connection directly at the shortest possible time, you can keep purifying. That's why, if you look at every faith is giving you sainthood. These people are having detachment. That's a sacrifice. They are not greedy. They are not infatuated in substance on any subtle form. So their ability to articulate purification is constant, but they also have to keep the physical body going if they wish. But what is not perishable is your soul, that is eternal.
And talking about actors, they always say, if you watch interviews, they say it's always important to snap in and snap out of a role when cut is called, and they spend time finding themselves back when they get so immersed into a character. So I guess it is generally a life lesson.
Yeah.
And now we're moving on to another one, which says, remaining quiet is what is called wisdom insight. To remain quiet is to resolve the mind and the self.
That's silence. Silence is to be celebrated. That's internal. Everything is internal is very important. That's why we call it as meditation. Meditation is a source of huge integration. Meditation is God. Meditation is additional advantage to become self-realized. Meditation can integrate and give you a synchronized vision for your heart and mind. Your action becomes more automatic. So these are time and tested solutions for human development and global prosperity.
Okay.
Meditation today, United Nations have given June 21st as Yoga Day.
Yeah.
World Yoga Day. December 21st as World Meditation Day. We want peaceful world. You look at the calamities in Ukraine or Russia, Middle East, Gaza and Israel. Now we recently had Pelham attack. Yeah. So we don't want warfare and bioreserves are getting destroyed and humanity is getting displaced. We don't want. We want peaceful world. Meditation is a solution. Reconciliation is a solution. Yoga is an integration.
Okay, and now I'm going to move on to Buddhism. Talking about wisdom and enlightenment, it says the mind is everything, what you think you become.
Absolutely. It's a thought. As I always say, thought becomes action, action becomes habit, habit becomes character, character becomes your destiny. Put the right thoughts, right output. Garbage in, garbage out. Good in, good out. You put only the right kind of thoughts. You don't know the consequence of the negative thoughts. It can destroy you. So never ever try to put negative thoughts. If you know negative mind can never give you positive life, negative thoughts can never give constructive engagement within yourself, you become a liability if you have only negative thoughts. And you create a society which is completely destructive. You're going to harm. So that's why love comes in, not hate. The positivity comes in, not the negativity. While you have negativity around you, you will have autopilot, as I always say, to reject take the positives and circuit break to reject the negatives.
Okay. And now moving on to compassion and kindness. And I feel like we've touched base on this from the others, and you also just spoke about it. But this one says, radiate boundless love towards the entire world.
Yeah, absolutely. Everything is love. Everything is a positivity. If you love everything, no discrimination, no caste, no creed, no race, no religion. Love everything. Everything what you see, everything what comes in. Imagine your energy levels. Imagine the positivity which you can vibrate within yourself. That's the most difficult discipline to do. Love is everything.
Yeah.
So if you have that habit, your energy is automatic, your action is automatic towards positivity. So love transcends the world to create so much, it keeps the world going. It is an ignition for sustenance. So, why should you hate someone? We love everyone. We like everyone. We like the whole world, as I always say.
Yeah, everything is interesting.
Everything is interesting. Everything is positive.
So, guys, unfortunately, that's all we have time for today. But I think the important lessons to learn from today in terms of spirituality and sustainability are that self realization is super important, love conquers all, try and stay positive, forgive even if you can't forget. Um, Focus on yourself, do good things, leave the rest to God's plan, and meditation is super important. And also try and understand that there's two sides to a lot of things in life, whether it's happiness and sadness, whether it's hunger and having the privilege to have food. We talked about the eating and fasting and that concept. So there's so much that we've learned today. But of course, if there's more questions that you have, feel free to ask. I feel like, without being unbiased, I feel like my dad has the answer to a lot of questions, just like I think my mom thinks water and hydration is a solution to every problem. But I promise he's going to try and answer most of your questions, but feel free to ask us more. And would you like to say anything in concluding thoughts?
Yeah, you summed it up beautifully. I only say spirituality is integral part of you. The more you look internal, you're going to radiate positivity, productivity, and you're going to engage in this beautiful planet for sustainable value creation. We all need to recognize human dignity is paramount. Social justice, recognition of the fact that the new generation has to inherit better world, better citizenship to this world, towards sustainable value creation. So spirituality is a solution, and sustainability and spirituality is converging well. Let's keep focusing on human development for greater prosperity.
Okay. I think that's a great note to sign off on. Thank you and see you in the
Thank
next
you very
episode.
much.
Bye-bye.